Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and I want to get it out of the way right now. If you have not seen Chapter 2 of The Mandalorian, this video will contain spoilers. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. So Chapter 2 of The Mandalorian starts out with the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda walking back to his ship. And walking back, we see them both being attacked by Transdoshans. And the thing that's interesting about this is that when the Mandalorian defeated them all, we see a look at their tracking fob, meaning they most likely got it from the client. It is during this whole battle scene with the Mandalorian and the Transdoshans that the Mandalorian was injured. And after the battle scene, it transitions to the Mandalorian surrounded by a campfire. And he's sitting there trying to repair his arm. And it's during this part that we see Baby Yoda looking at his injured arm and keeps trying to go up to him. Now my theory behind this part is that Baby Yoda was trying to heal him using the Force. Which does go back to my original theory in my past video, since Yoda and Yaddle are the same species and both of them are extremely connected to the Force as well. And as the show goes on and the Mandalorian makes it back to his ship, we see it being stripped completely clean by Jawas. And let me tell you, those Jawas totally stripped that thing clean. But he ultimately tries to take his parts back by force and fails. Where later in the episode, he comes to an agreement with the Jawas that he has to obtain an egg from an animal which I think is called a reek. It looks like a reek to me. And a reek, if you don't know, is in the Geonosian arena scene in episode 2. And it's during this part where he's battling the reek that he gets roughed up pretty bad. And it actually looks like if Baby Yoda didn't step in that he wouldn't have won at all. And Baby Yoda steps in and actually uses the Force and lifts the reek off the ground, which is absolutely amazing in my mind, considering that he's still technically an infant, even though he is 50 years old. And we know that many younglings struggle to use the Force at first. Even Luke Skywalker, when he's training with Yoda and Dagobah, struggled to lift things off the ground. However, lifting the reek off the ground did tire him out very much, considering that he's asleep for majority of the remainder of the show until he wakes up at the very end. And if you haven't seen Chapter 2 already, it ends with the Mandalorian getting his parts back and him flying off world, and that's when Baby Yoda wakes up. And I do want to say that seeing Baby Yoda use the Force actually confused him, saying that he didn't really know what he saw. And this to me means that he probably hasn't ever seen a Jedi before, because we do know that he was alive during the Clone Wars, although he was just a child, which isn't surprising considering the amount of star systems that are in the Star Wars galaxy. We've even seen in the books and comic books that there are many people who haven't seen a Jedi, considering there were only about 10,000 at the time of Revenge of the Sith, so there's no possible way that everyone in the Star Wars galaxy could have seen the Jedi firsthand. So my theory as to what Baby Yoda's role would be, and I do want to say that I don't read any spoilers or leaks at all, so this will be totally just something I'm coming up with right now, but I think he'll play a major role in probably the first season. And I think that the Mandalorian will find out what exactly the client wants to do with this child, and I think he'll ultimately try and protect him. I think the Mandalorian has more morals than what we might think, and I think that the client and the doctor don't want to do anything good with this child. And I think the Mandalorian will go through an effort to try and protect him from him. But ultimately, this is just my theory, but I want to know what you think what will happen in the comments down below. But if you haven't seen my first video on the theory I made about Baby Yoda, then go check that out. And if you want to see more content relating to Star Wars, then subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one.